Hi, and thank you for visiting my channel. For more information, kindly subscribe and follow. Now let's get started.
Rhea Ripley received a present from a popular WWE star ahead of tonight's episode of Raw. Ripley lost the Women's World Championship to Io Sky last month and squared off against the Damage Control star last Monday night in a rematch. Ahead of tonight's edition of the Red Brand, Ripley took to her Instagram story to reveal that Natalya gave her a gift. She noted that a wrestling fan had handed the gift over to the 42-year-old to pass it on to the Eradicator. She thanked the fan with a heartfelt message on social media. "Thank you to the kind fan that gave it Nat by nature this Labu buddy give me," she wrote. Ripley challenged Io Sky for the Women's World Championship with Bianca Belair as the special guest referee in the main event of last week's WWE Raw. The match ended via disqualification, and Sky retained the title. Popular WWE star shoots down the idea of Rhea Ripley facing Dominic Mysterio. WWE Raw star Liv Morgan is not in favor of Dominic Mysterio facing Rhea Ripley in a singles match. Rhea Ripley and Dominic Mysterio used to be in a storyline relationship, but he betrayed her to align with Liv Morgan at WWE SummerSlam last year. In an exclusive interview with Sportskeeda Wrestling's Riju Dasgupta, the 30-year-old noted that Dominic Mysterio was a gentleman and would never strike a woman. Morgan claimed that the idea was dumb and suggested that Mysterio had already crushed Ripley emotionally. "Why do you want to watch Dominic crush Rhea? First of all, Dominic, he's such a gentleman. He's not gonna hit a woman, so that's just dumb. But, also, if that were to happen, you like Rhea, I'm assuming, he already crushed Rhea mentally and spiritually and emotionally," Morgan said. 238-304. Ripley claimed that she should have won the Women's World Championship match last week and blamed Bianca Belair for the loss. She added that she will continue to haunt the EST until she gets what she wants. The atmosphere backstage at Monday Night Raw was already electric. It was the final Raw before WrestleMania, and the roster was buzzing. Camera crews were adjusting lenses, production staff scurried across gorilla position, and superstars were mentally preparing for their segments. Yet, amid the whirlwind of chaos, Rhea Ripley stood out like a shadowed storm cloud ready to unleash thunder. The Women's World Champion adjusted the leather strap of her title slung over her shoulder, her eyes dark and focused. She had a match later in the night, a tag bout alongside Dominic Mysterio, but her mind wasn't on strategy. Something had been gnawing at her ever since she received a mysterious message earlier in the day. "Check your locker. Got something for you." No name. No hint. Nothing. But whoever sent it knew her locker location, a tight circle of trust. As she approached her locker room, there it was, a sleek black gift box, sitting squarely on the bench, tied with an emerald green ribbon that shimmered under the fluorescent lights. Her eyebrow arched in curiosity. This was not typical pre-show behavior. Superstars didn't exchange presents, especially not just days before WrestleMania. Mind games? A trap? She smirked. If it was a game, she was always ready to play. Rhea cautiously untied the ribbon, her black painted nails running across the smooth surface of the box. She flipped the lid open and immediately froze. Inside, resting against black velvet, was a pair of custom-designed studded gloves, matte black leather with silver spikes across the knuckles, the initials RR embossed on the wrists. They looked powerful. Dangerous. And beneath the gloves was a handwritten note on crisp parchment. "For the nightmare. Go break them all. Randy." Her lips curled into a grin. Randy Orton. The Viper himself. She hadn't expected this. They shared mutual respect, a kinship of chaos, as many had called it. Both thrived in the shadows of the business, striking when least expected, with venomous precision. But this was personal. It wasn't just a gift, it was a message. Almost as if on cue, a slow clap echoed from the hallway behind her. "Figured you'd like them," Randy Orton's voice drawled, cool as ever. He stepped into view, arms crossed, that trademark smirk dancing across his face. Rhea held up the gloves, her grin matching his. "Trying to recruit me for RK Bro 2.0? Orton chuckled lowly. "Nah. You don't need a tag partner, Rhea. You're the nightmare for a reason." His eyes darkened, a flicker of veteran fire behind them. "But you do need to remind the world exactly what that means at WrestleMania. No holding back. No second guessing." Rhea slipped the gloves on, flexing her fingers. They fit perfectly, like they were molded for her alone. "You didn't have to do this," she said, her tone softer but still laced with her usual edge. "Maybe not," Orton replied, leaning against the doorway, "but I've seen you tear down walls, Rhea. I've seen you carry this division on your back while others play safe. You're the one they all fear, whether they admit it or not. And I respect that. These gloves? They're just a reminder. When you step into that ring tonight, and at WrestleMania, you let them feel every ounce of that fear." The weight of his words settled over her like armor. In the world of WWE, where respect is earned through blood, sweat, and scars, a gesture like this from Orton meant more than any scripted segment or promo. It was a passing of the torch, not in lineage, but in legacy. He saw in her the same relentless predator that had made him a legend. Just then, Dominic Mysterio poked his head into the room, looking slightly bewildered at the scene unfolding. Everything good in here?" he asked, his eyes darting from Orton to the gloves. Rhea's grin widened. She patted Dom on the chest as she walked past him, gloves clenched tight. "Better than good, Dom. We're about to make tonight unforgettable." Orton gave a small nod of approval as she strode out of the room with Dominic following close behind. He watched her go, a quiet satisfaction in his gaze. He knew she didn't need anyone to push her. Rhea Ripley was a force of nature all her own, but sometimes, even the fiercest storms welcomed the spark that made them rage louder. Later that night, as Raw reached its crescendo, Rhea's entrance hit with thunderous force. The lights dimmed, her theme song blaring through the arena, and she emerged with a ferocity that left even seasoned fans on their feet. The new gloves caught the light perfectly, glinting like fangs in the darkness. Commentary picked up on it instantly. "Wait a second, those gloves, those are new," Michael Cole exclaimed. "Looks like Rhea Ripley got herself an upgrade tonight." Corey Graves, ever the opportunist, leaned into the intrigue. "I heard whispers backstage, Cole. Word is, those gloves are a gift from none other than the Viper Randy Orton. If that doesn't send chills down the spine of her opponents, I don't know what will." In the ring, Rhea moved with even more venomous purpose. Every strike, every slam, every glare at the crowd radiated a new level of menace. The gloves weren't just part of her gear, they were an extension of her fury, a symbol of the chaos she was about to unleash not just tonight, but at WrestleMania. By the time the match ended with Rhea and Dominic standing tall, the message was clear: Rhea Ripley wasn't just ready for WrestleMania, she was inevitable. Backstage, as she returned from the match, she caught Orton watching from the monitors. Their eyes met briefly across the corridor. No words were exchanged. None were needed. The nightmare had been unleashed. And Randy Orton, the master of calculated destruction, knew she would finish what he started.